once we used to talk about circular flow, and nowadays we talk about circularity and to close the loop, which you know is one of the most important things. Auli, Nummila, Pakarinen is here to tell us about Borealis Everminds. They work to show that plastic is recyclable and that the entire business has a lot to gain by thinking more circular. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big hand for Auli, Nummila, Pakarinen.
Ja. Just på det sättet. Ja. Okay, thank you everyone. I have a little bit technical challenge here, but I hope it will work fine. Yes, first briefly about Borealis. Okay. So, Borealis is a polyolefin producer, so we produce polyethylene, polypropylene, and we are also a polyolefin recycler. So we have companies that are doing recycling of household waste. We are a European company based with headquarters in Vienna, but we have also ownership in United Arab Emirates. And we are actively working on, say, on all continents, and we do have a joint venture company in United Arab Emirates, and we are also expanding to US. Currently, we are the second largest polyolefin producer in Europe. But today I want to talk about the circularity within polyolefins and within, let's say, also packaging, taking a little bit packaging as an example. So what we think here, look at here is the whole circle. We also want to see the whole circle to be closed. And I don't know, I don't have anything to point. Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah. So we would be here as polyolefin producer. We already heard quite a lot about design for recycling, so I may be skipping it a little bit, but it's really important to the phase to look at the polyolefins and the packaging materials that are put into market, so that they can be collected back and used as a high quality materials. And end consumer, it should be also easy to end consumer to prevent the plastics escaping to environment, to have an incentive to take them to collection, and then we try to pass the energy recovery as much as we can. And currently the mainstream is mechanical recycling. That's where the technology is already existing. And the second stream here, you see it's a little bit striped road still, but also that we are looking at, because at least in polyolefins and in packaging material, you still are not able to recycle back to food contact applications. Only in very rare cases where you have a closed loop situation. Otherwise, it's non-food applications. What we look at here, that the mechanical recyclates would come back to our production, yes and no. We do have, we are selling products directly, fully recycled, 100% recyclates, but we are also looking at different ways to combine virgin materials and recycled materials in order to create solutions that are going to retain the properties, or make as properties as close to virgin materials as possible. Otherwise, when we are selling to let's say food contact materials, we need to even give out statement that the materials are not containing recycled materials. So what we see here is something that we say really a paradigm shift for design of products. For a very long time, products have been designed and optimized for functionality, less materials, which is very good, but going and maybe even combining a lot of materials to give functionality. And that we already heard a little bit about, that is not optimal for circularity. So it has been a big game between functionality and also branding, how to make the packaging as informative and as attractive as possible. Also a very important part of the function of the packaging. But now we see that the circularity has come in as a third wheel in the process, and this kind of turns it all around, that we really need to rethink how the packaging, how the materials should look like, how the packaging should look like, and how it can be recycled. Because if we go, I just quickly jump back to the, oh wow. Here, what we need to take really care of is CO2 reduction. So we cannot just use and burn. We need to be able to reduce and eliminate as much CO2 released to atmosphere as possible. And that's kind of the main thing here. Main thing is not that we are able to remelt and reform, but do it in a way that we really are reducing the CO2 emissions. And for us, what is Everminds? So for Borealis, we are trying to even highlight more that recycling is part of our business, thinking circular is part of the business, that we see it as an opportunity, not a threat. One could think very quickly that, okay, if materials are recycled, we cannot sell virgin materials, but that's not the point here. It's really that we see that the world needs to be circular. And it also brings in business growth. And what we see also is that polyolefins, as they are widely used in packaging, so they are an ideal material also to design packaging from, and also as a tool to reach the recycling targets in what EU has been setting up. We also have something which we call 10 codes of conduct. I think it was quite nicely summarized already on the previous speaker's slide, but it's something that you can also look for from our web page. And the best, I think, for circularity at Borealis web page, Everminds is the best search word. But basically, the basis is that the packaging needs to have its primary function. It needs to protect and preserve. But then it needs to be easy to take away all decoration, also easy to empty, easy to clean, and ultimately use as few polymer types as possible, because that really then provides the best quality for the next round. And that is what we see as kind of a big challenge, but also opportunity. So today we are still in what we say traditional recycling markets. So we are, which is a good market, and that's nothing to say about that. But what we do need to get into is all the applications that virgin materials also are being used into. Maybe food is still further away, but there's a lot of non-food applications. And as we also heard here, that maybe there is not the market currently for all recyclates, but we need to get the properties up so that we can have this as an equal raw material to all applications where virgin materials are used now. And what this also means that we need to be able to create supporting materials. It may not be in all applications that we can use 80% or 100%, but if we can even come up to 50, 55 as the target, so then we can have another booster material that can make it possible to have a good property profile as currently, because it also doesn't make sense start to make things thicker again, because recyclate may have less properties. So we need to be able to compensate and really make structures that are working as the current ones. And what we are doing in this area, here I have our two recycling plants. So MTM Plastics in Germany, Ecoplast in Austria, and the MTM is specialized in rigid raw materials for rigid packaging applications, and Ecoplast for raw materials for flexible applications. And they both use really the post-consumer waste and quite high, excuse me, and quite high share from household waste. We are also not, as I mentioned, a little bit looking into the chemical recycling, and we do have a project ongoing with our owner OMV, so-called ReOil. That is also something that you can Google and find more details about the process. But the idea is that the plastic waste is recycled into refinery feed, and from there it will come back to plastics raw material. These, as all the chemical recycling technologies, are still in a pilot phase. I'm sorry. Technical readiness is not yet there for full-scale operation of chemical recycling of polyolefins. We are also in quite a few of these advocacy organizations and activities. Ellen MacArthur Foundation, New Plastics Economy, C-Flex is one for flexible packaging value chain. More than 130 participants all over the value chain. And it's really important that the whole value chain is working together, because no one can do this change alone. And here really the target is that first the collection, everything needs to be collected. It should not leak out to nature. It should not be left anywhere, and returned. Next step is to return to economy as much as possible. And this is for flexible packaging quite important. It's really a material efficient way of packaging materials, but they are not very largely yet recycled. It's also about the sorting plants, the technologies that flexible packaging is sorted out in a light fraction, going to incineration quite a lot still. We are also concerned about, of course, the big issue with marine littering and the situation in countries where the infrastructure and waste management is not at all in the same level as in Europe. And we are working together with many other partners in Project STOP. This is in Indonesia, the first case that not only cleaning up, but also providing infrastructure training for the people to be able to take care of the littering there. There's also, if you want to follow, there also web page on Project Stop to see what is going on. So I want to conclude here that polyolefins are very energy efficient, let's say light, durable, and such a way eco-efficient materials to be used in all kind of applications, not only packaging, but also in all other applications, in healthcare, in automotive, in water supply, in energy supply. And we are, as Borealis, we are really looking forward to even expand our Everminds platform and circular economy solutions, and our aim is to grow quite a lot still in the volume of recyclates. So even not only double, maybe go even 3 times higher what we have now. So that was my presentation today. Apologies for my voice.
No problem. Thank you very much, Auli.